in this practical lecture of pharmacology and toxicology. So today we will conduct the two experiments togetherly, that is experiment number 14 and experiment number 15. So in which we can observe the effect of mydriatics and miotics on the rabbit eye. So experiment number 14 in our journal, it is to observe and study the effect of mydriatics on rabbit's cornea, and experiment number 40 is to observe and study the effect of miotics on rabbit cornea. Okay, so first we will see the experiment, that is effect of mydriatics and miotics on rabbit eye.
Aim of this experiment is effect of mydriatics and miotics on rabbit's eye.
So you all know that what is meant by mydriatics and what is meant by miotics. Okay, so mydriatics are the agent which causes the dilation of pupil, and miotics are the agent which causes the constriction of pupil, that is decrease into the size of pupil due to the miotics and increase into the size of pupil due to the mydriatics drug.
Objectives of this experiment are to understand the phenomenon of mydriasis and meiosis, to understand the phenomenon of cycloplagia and photophobia, to understand the phenomenon of paralysis of accommodation.
So requirement for this experiment, we need animal rabbit, drug pilocarpine 4%, cyclopentolate 1%, instruments and equipments, rabbit holder, pen torch, cotton swab, scissor to cut the eyelashes, transparent scale and dropper, etc.
The circular colored moving disc of eye is called iris. It is present in between cornea and lens. Pupil is the central aperture of iris. The pupil regulates amount of light entering inside the eye. Its size is controlled by two small smooth muscle fibers, namely circular muscle fibers and radial muscle fibers.
Okay, so this all part is related with anatomy of eyes. Okay, so that part is already covered in human anatomy and physiology in first year, right? So here it is the different part of eyes. So that includes the cornea, pupil, lens, iris and retina.
The parasympathetic and sympathetic nerves regulate the pupil size or diameter. Circular muscle is innervated by parasympathetic nerves and radial muscle by sympathetic nerves. In bright light, circular muscle of iris contract due to stimulation of parasympathetic nerves and pupil size decreases. In dim light, radial muscles of iris contract due to stimulation by sympathetic nerves and leads to increase in pupil size. Increase in pupil size is called mydriasis and decrease in pupil size is called meiosis.
Okay, as we all know that we can easily see in dim light and also in bright light also. Okay, so this is due to the adjustment of pupil size is there. Okay, so parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems are there which regulates the pupil size or diameter of the pupil. Okay, so these circulars and radial muscles are present into the eyes. Okay, so in this diagram you can easily observe the red color muscles which are circular muscles, and these are the radial muscles. Okay, so these circular muscles which are innervated by the parasympathetic nerves, okay, and radial muscles which are innervated by the sympathetic nerves. Okay, so in bright light what happens, these circular muscles of the iris get contracted due to the stimulation of parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, म्हणजे जेव्हा आपण खूप जास्त प्रकाशामध्ये जातो तेव्हा पिपल्स मध्ये जे सर्क्युलर मसल्स आहेत त्यांचं कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन होतं. ओके, आणि त्याच्यामुळे पिपल साईज डिक्रीज होते आणि त्याच्यामुळे आपल्याला विजन जे आहे ते प्रॉपरली दिसतं. ओके, सो पिपल साईज गेट डिक्रीजेस ड्यू टू द स्टिम्युलेशन ऑफ पॅरासिम्पॅथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टीम. ओके, इन डीम लाईट व्हॉट हॅपन, जेव्हा आपण काळोख्या किंवा अंधाऱ्या खोलीमध्ये जातो तेव्हा काय होतं, रॅडियल मसल्स आहेत विच इज ॲन रिस्टमध्ये जे रॅडियल मसल्स आहेत विच इज गेट कॉन्ट्रॅक्टेड ड्यू टू द स्टिम्युलेशन ऑफ सिम्पॅथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टीम. ओके, म्हणजे अंधाऱ्या खोलीमध्ये गेल्यानंतर आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये सिम्पॅथेटिक नर्वस सिस्टीमचं स्टिम्युलेशन होतं आणि त्याच्यामुळे रॅडियल मसल्स जे आहेत त्यांचं कॉन्ट्रॅक्शन होतं. ओके, अँड ड्यू टू दिस increase into the pupil size. Okay, so due to the contraction of this radial muscles, pupil size get increases. Okay, and this increase and decrease in the pupil size, so they are termed as an mydriasis and meiosis. Okay, if increase the pupil size, the term is known as mydriasis, and if decrease the pupil size, the term is known as meiosis. Okay.
Drugs which increase pupil size are called mydriatics. Because of mydriasis, an individual can see objects which are far away but fails to observe objects which are nearer. This inability is called cycloplegia. Because of cycloplegia, person fails to respond to bright light. This inability to respond to bright light is called photophobia. Drugs which decrease pupil size are called miotics. Because of meiosis, an individual can see the objects which are nearer but fails to observe objects which are far away. This inability produced is called paralysis of accommodation or spasm of accommodation.
Right, so we already see the mydriasis and meiosis effect. Okay, so the drugs which cause the mydriasis effect, they are known as mydriatics. Okay, and the drug which shows the meiosis effect on the eyes, they are called as myotics drug. Okay, so because of mydriasis, an individual can see the object which are far away but fail to observe the object which are nearer. Okay, मग mydriatics drug यूज केल्यामुळे काय होतं आहे, आईजमध्ये mydriasis इफेक्ट दिसतो आणि मिड्रियासिसमध्ये काय होतं की तो जो इंडिव्हिज्युअल आहे तो खूप लांबचा ऑब्जेक्ट आहे तो क्लिअरली, सो दिस इंडिव्हिज्युअल कॅन सी द ऑब्जेक्ट विच आर अवे, खूप लांबचा ऑब्जेक्ट तो इझिली बघू शकतो. ओके, बट जवळचे जे ऑब्जेक्ट्स आहेत ते व्यवस्थित क्लिअरली बघू शकत नाही आहे. ओके, सो ही जी ॲबिलिटी त्या पर्सनमध्ये येते ड्यू टू द इन्स्टिलेशन ऑफ मिड्रियाटिक एजंट, सो दॅट इनॅबिलिटी इज नोन ॲज सायक्लोप्लेजिया. मीन्स तो पर्सन जो आहे तो खूप लांबचं इझिली पाहू शकतो पण जवळचं त्याला तो व्यवस्थित बघू शकत नाही आहे, या इनॅबिलिटीला आपण सायक्लोप्लेजिया असं म्हणतो. ओके, बिकॉज ऑफ सायक्लोप्लेजिया पर्सन फेल्स टू रिस्पॉन्स टू ब्राईट लाईट. ओके, मग सायक्लोप्लेजिया झाल्यामुळे काय होतं आहे की जास्त प्रकाशामध्ये तो पर्सन जो आहे तो इझिली बघू शकत नाही आहे आणि ही जी इनॅबिलिटी येते दॅट इज इनॅबिलिटी टू रिस्पॉन्स टू ब्राईट लाईट इज नोन ॲज फोटोफोबिया. ओके, फोटो इज रिलेटेड विथ द लाईट, फोबिया इट इज रिलेटेड विथ द फिअर. ओके, सो त्याच्यामुळे पर्सन जो आहे तो ब्राईट लाईटमध्ये व्यवस्थित नीट बघू शकत नाही आहे, त्याला आपण फोटोफोबिया असं म्हणतो. ओके, देन ड्रग विच डिक्रीजेस द पीपल साइज आर नोन ॲज miotics drug, right? So because of meiosis effect on the eye, the person which can see the object which are nearer but fails to observe the object which are far away. ओके, मग मिओटिक्स इन्स्टिल केल्यानंतर तो पर्सन जो आहे तो जवळचे ऑब्जेक्ट व्यवस्थित बघू शकतो पण एकदम लांबचे ऑब्जेक्ट त्याला क्लिअरली दिसू शकत नाही. ओके, ही जी इनॅबिलिटी आहे विच इज नोन ॲज पॅरालिसिस ऑफ अकोमोडेशन और spasm of accommodation. Okay, due to the installation of miotics drug, the person can easily see the object which is nearer but can't see the object which is far away. Okay, and that term is known as paralysis of accommodation or spasm of accommodation. Okay. Now we can see the actual procedure, that is effect of mydriatics and myotics on rabbit eye.
To study effect of mydriatic and myotic on rabbit's eye, select an adult and healthy rabbit of either sex Place it in a rabbit holder properly. Cut the eyelashes and whiskers of the eye of the rabbit with a sharp scissor. Check the corneal reflex, light reflex in right eye of the rabbit. Touch the cornea of rabbit's eye with cotton wick. The rabbit blinks the eye. It means that the corneal reflex is present in the right eye. Focus the right eye with a beam of light from a paint torch and observe the blinking of eye. It means light reflex is present too. Measure the size of the pupil with a scale. Repeat the same observations in left eye of the rabbit. Thereafter, treat the right eye of the rabbit as the control eye and left eye as the test eye. Instill 2 to 3 drops of pilocarpine solution in the test eye of the rabbit. Apply slight pressure with finger on the medial canthus to avoid nasolacrimal drainage of the drug. Measure the pupil size in both the eyes at an interval of 15 minutes up to 1 hour. You will observe that the pupil size of the test eye decreases as compared to that of the control eye. Also note the unchanged pupil size in the control eye throughout the experiment, along with presence of corneal reflex and light reflex. Now observe the corneal reflex and light reflex in the test eye. You will notice that these reflexes remained unaffected. It means that the drug pilocarpine is miotic and doesn't affect other eye reflexes. For studying mydriatic effect, use the same animal after allowing a time gap of 24 hours to wear off the effect of earlier drug used. Instill 2 to 3 drops of cyclopentolate solution in the test eye. Apply slight pressure with finger on the medial canthus to avoid nasolacrimal drainage of the drug. Measure the pupil size in both the eyes at an interval of 15 minutes up to 1 hour. You will notice that the pupil size in the test eye increases as compared to that of the control eye. You will also observe that the light reflex is lost. This means that cyclopentolate is a mydriatic. You will confirm the mydriatic property of cyclopentolate by simultaneous observations on the control eye, which remains unaffected. Thus, we can say that parasympathomimetics show meiosis, whereas sympathomimetics, anticholinergics, show mydriasis.
Okay, so from this procedure you can easily understand the effect of meiosis and meiosis on the rabbit eye. So two reflexes are used for the checking of this effect, that is first is light reflex and corneal reflex is used, right? So here it is the observation table. First is for pilocarpine drug. So if you observe the size of pupil is get decreased. Okay, so this pilocarpine drug is miotic drug. Okay, because it causes decrease into the size of pupil. Okay, so it does not affect the corneal or light reflex. Both reflexes are present. Okay, in case of cyclopentolate, if you observe the pupil size get increases, okay, and the corneal reflexes are remain positive, but the light reflexes are lost after the 15 minute, right? So 15 मिनिटानंतर light reflexes मात्र loss झालेले आहेत. Okay, so this is the mydriatic drug. Okay, so from this observation table we can easily conclude that if we use the mydriatic drug, that is cyclopentolate here is used as a mydriatic drug. Okay, so the normal pupil size is 5 mm, right? Normal pupil size 5 mm आहे. After instillation of drug the maximum pupil size आपल्याला जे दिसते 9 mm, right? And the onset of action is after 15 minutes is observed, because the light reflexes are lost after the 15 minutes. Okay, and the duration of action is last for 15 to 30, that is 30 minutes. And this cyclopentolate drug which produces the mydriatic effect. Okay, so it causes the increase into the pupil size, therefore it causes the mydriatic effect on eye. Okay, then first observation table is for pilocarpine drug. Okay, so here it is the pupil size of if you see the observe the pupil size, it will get decreases. Okay, and it does not affect the corneal or light reflexes. Okay, so if you see the normal pupil size is 5, okay, and maximum आपण जर इथे minimum pupil size जर observe केली तर ती 3 mm आहे. Okay, and this pilocarpine drug which acts as an miotics drug. Okay, so from this observation table we can easily conclude that this cyclopentolate which causes the mydriasis effect on the eyes, and this pilocarpine drug which produces the miosis effect on the eyes, right?
You have learnt that drugs affect radial and circular muscle fibers of iris and thus produce mydriasis or miosis. Drug contracts ciliary muscle fibers and increase the lens diameter and produce cycloplegia and photophobia. Mydriatics cause cycloplegia producing photophobia. Miotics produce paralysis of accommodation.
Okay, so here it is the end of this experiment. We had completed experiment number 14 and experiment number 15 together. Thank you.